Hi everyone, happy Thursday. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits, and I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and we relax and we craft and we work on a project together and just hang out and chit chat. I'd love if you share what you're working on over on the Penguin and Fish Crafters Facebook group. You can do a search in Facebook for that and then click join and I'll let you in. It's so fun to see what everyone's making there and cheer each other along. So we're working on the Krista Quilt's Charming Chevrons quilt. We are well on our way to making little half chevrons. So here's our little stack. This is half of a chevron. We've made one that goes in the other direction. Boop. And then you got that full V chevron. So we're gonna make more of these. They're made out of half square triangles. So that's just a square that's divided in half into two triangles like that. And we have a stack of them all ready to sew together. And so we're sewing two together. Let me see if I can grab it. So if we can bring this one down here, then we got our half chevron. So that's our plan for tonight. Gonna sew through the stack we've been working on and get some more half chevrons done tonight. We're doing the whole stack of the downward or the upper left to lower right chevrons first, and then we're gonna do the whole other stack of the ones that go in the other direction, just so we can keep them divided, and I know I have the right amount of each one. So that's the plan. If you want to join us, I am working on this project all the way through from beginning to end. The pattern by Krista Watson of Krista Quilts is in my Facebook post here, so you can go check that out on her website. And then later, we will be making it into a quilt, obviously, and we'll be trying free motion quilting on it. I have not really done that before, so this is going to be my learning quilt for free motion quilting once it's in quilt format. So that's the plan. We got a ways to go till we get there. Tonight, like I said, we are going to turn these little half square triangles into the half chevrons. And I think that's probably all we'll do, and we will sew it up. Oh, you see your stork scissors? Yeah, I got all the little color stork scissors on the wall here. We have a little Penguin and Fish stork scissors that we made. So those are on our website if you wanted to check them out at penguinandfish.com. And again, happy for you guys to be here. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'm gonna flip you around. We'll get sewing. All right, got the machine all ready to go. Let's just scooch so you can see the presser foot a little bit. I think I'll zoom in again tonight. So all right, we have our stack again here tonight. We did this once before. Well, obviously, because we did these. So what we've been doing is we've been just kind of loading up on our half square triangles. And then once we got a good pile, a good stack going, we've been sewing them into the half chevrons. So we've kind of been like rotating around different parts of the process. But here we are tonight. So all I have to do, I've kind of arranged these already as we trim them. So all I have to do is take the top one down, bring it down, and then we should have the matching pair of half square triangles, and they should already be in the position for us to do that right chevron. But, if you didn't do that, if you just, have them all over the place, you just have to make sure you have your pairing, which is the two of the same half square triangles, and that should have come from when you were trimming your block in half that we did earlier. Then you got the two chevrons in either, or not the two chevrons, you got the two half square triangles on either side here. So when you trim the diagonal in this stage, and you can check the older videos when we were doing this, but when you trim that diagonal, just keep that pair together, and then, it'll be stacked next to each other, so you don't have to search for them. But then you just rotate them in the direction they need to be, and, we're starting with the upper left-hand corner going to the lower right. We're doing all of those first, and then we will switch to these other ones. So again, here's one going in the other direction. At first glance, your brain kind of thinks, oh, I can just rotate this, and then it'll be going the other way. But no matter how you rotate it, they're always stuck in that that position. The only way to make them the other way is to turn each square individually, opposite directions, and there we go. So we're doing the ones that go this direction for a while, and then we'll get to the other direction later. So okay, let's get sewing. So I have my stack here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chain piece them, which means I'm just going to keep sewing one after the other without trimming it from the machine, and it'll be like one long chain of stuff. So I'm going to put the right sides together, and I'm going to make sure I'm sewing along the correct side. So you know we're joining it right there. So when I put them together, I need to sew right there. And I'm using my 1/4 inch foot, and I'll zoom in for you tonight down here too. See if I can do that. There we go. All right, so this is my 1/4 inch foot, and so this side of it is a 1/4 inch over, which is our typical length, our typical width of our seam allowance that we want to sew. Oh, I got to make sure that I did this right again. All right, yep, flip. And so I'm going to aim for lining up this edge with that 1/4 inch edge over there, so just kind of like that. And I also have a little business card here that is at that 1/4 inch mark as well, so I can just kind of butt it up against that, that surface, because there is a little ridge here, so I can butt it up against there, and that'll help me guide it in as well. So that is the plan. And let's turn it on and sew these. So I'm going to scooch back just a hair. There we go. Okay, this is our first little edge. I have a little leader here, which is just a little piece of fabric, and that's just so we can easily start and we won't be using up a lot of thread. I won't have to like hold the thread or anything. I don't have long strands of thread. It's just I'm just gonna leap from the leader onto my fabric here. And then we'll just go. So this will be our first little seam. Oh yeah, I have that stork behind me. I did a little, I was playing with the iPad. I had gotten an iPad with one of those pencils, and I was testing it out, and I drew, it's actually this little scissors here. I drew this little scissors with the iPad. All right, I think I have these rotated funny. Let's see. All right, now bring this down. All right, there we go. We got our second chevron here. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit more again. Hold on, trying to zoom. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put that chevron together again, and we'll just keep going. So I didn't cut this off at all. I am just starting up the next piece right away. Thanks again for joining me today, guys. All right, next pairing from the pile. Yep, I always just double check. We do have that chevron go in the right direction, and we can keep going. Tomorrow is the taxes / flu shot day. So that sounds like a party, right? Ooh, you've been painting, Lucy. What are you painting? I would love to be painting. I don't know if I want to be painting a wall, but it'd be fun to paint something else. All right, get those together. We'll press these when we're done here too, so we'll get to see what they look like as nice flat chevrons. I think we might have more than we did last time we did this, so we'll see if we get them all done tonight, because I think the last time we went right up to the buzzer. Ooh, embroidering, fun. Oh, pastels, flowers. Lucy, that sounds so relaxing and wonderful. I've gathered all my painting stuff. So it's all in the same spot right now and all like in theory ready to go. I think my big thing is I just need to, I haven't painted yet since that painting class I took forever ago now, but I at least have everything gathered now. So now I think the next step is just get it all out as if I'm in the middle of a painting. And if it's just sitting there out, then it'll be like easy to just pick up the brush and go. Like I should just mix some colors and have them sitting out waiting for me. I think that'll be like the key for me to actually paint something. It's at least organized and gathered, and I suppose that's the first step, right? Oh, I still really like this fabric. So man, some of you guys, I was checking out the Penguin and Fish Crafters group earlier on Facebook, and some of you are super duper far on yours already. Oops, look, I forgot to press this one open, so I'm just gonna open it as I sew. When I press this seam open, the seam to make the chevron, I'll press this flat too. I just missed it. Oop. Catching on the edge there. Ooh, pastels are new to you. Have done a painting. Painting a day for about a week. Oh man, that just sounds awesome. Like just that, just forming that habit. That just sounds amazing. Oh, Valerie, good. You received your fabrics. Thanks for letting me know. Oh, and you got a little bonus fat quarter. Yeah, I had a few giveaways hiding in a few packages there. Yay, I'm glad you got it. It's always scary. I always say that it's just a little scary sending stuff out into the world and hoping it gets there. Ooh, your favorite color? Red, Carol. Yeah, I'm super stoked for this red. I mean, I knew it was going to be really a bold color, but I wanted to give it a try. I don't think I've done a quilt with such like a rich, bright color as kind of the main thing. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. And then with this purple that's coming up next, I just think it looks really cool. We have a few solid purple ones in here. So the chain is getting bigger. I will show you that when we're done. Then you'll get a little bit more of an idea of why it's called chain piecing. But it's so much faster than sewing a seam and then trimming the thread and setting it aside and then starting a whole new thing. We get to just go right after each other, which is super fast. And then we're not wasting as much thread or anything either because they're only connected. You know, there's a tiny little piece connecting it, so it works well. Freddie Moran says red is a neutral. Sounds good to me. Yeah, this is just like a really good red too, like a nice rich red. Oh, you're also making squiggles with Krista's fabric. Oh, fun. So bright, yes. She has some really pretty bright fabrics. She's a fabric designer too, if you guys didn't know. You know, so she has Krista quilts, which is the pattern. I mean, the chevron, Charming Chevrons, that's the pattern of hers that we're doing right now. And yeah, she owns the pre-cut store. We talked about that yesterday, where they sell a bunch of pre-cuts, I think primarily on Amazon. And then she's a fabric designer too. I think this might be her second or third collection now. Ooh, you have the Modern Marks, her first collection. Fun. The one thing about this foot, this presser foot, I just got a bunch of new presser feet that I'm kind of playing with, and including this one, the 1/4 inch foot. I didn't have one of those on my machine, and I thought, you know, I do so much of this quilting stuff now that requires that 1/4 inch foot, I'm just gonna get one. And it's great. I like it so far, except for it has this little angle in here, which I'm sure is great, like if you turn a corner or something. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what it's for. Probably something very practical. I don't know. But sometimes when I have like an angled seam like this, it doesn't want to tuck underneath it and it gets caught. Which doesn't really, it's not really a problem. Usually by the time it gets to the needle, it's worked itself away from that. And it's, you know, far enough away from the needle that it doesn't really affect stuff, but it's kind of annoying. And okay, so I'm not pinning these or anything. I'm not pinning them. Feel free to pin them. If you're nervous about your fabrics not staying together, feel free to like use a Wonder Clip to kind of clip them together or pins to pin them together. For me, I think it's just not that big of a space, like a length. I don't think it's going to move around very much. So as long as I kind of match it up to begin with, I can kind of kitty scratch it a little bit. Like if you're a little off, I call it kitty scratching, and I'm going to continue. But you know, so I'm a little off, it's not quite together. I can just scratch the top a little bit until it lines up. You're just moving like the top fabric by just scratching it. And that's much easier than lifting the fabric up and then trying to match it again. So just some kitty scratches, and you know, I'm holding the bottom while I sew to kind of, my finger is kind of the pin, you know what I mean? So I don't need a pin, I'm holding it there, and then, you know, I start at the top, and once that gets going, then all I have to do is kind of keep my finger at the bottom, and that acts as my pin. So I don't think there's enough space to deal with, enough length to deal with on these little squares that I have to pin. But if you're more comfortable pinning, for sure, go for it. I mean, if this was a longer piece and the edge was flopping around all over the place, then I would definitely pin or use a Wonder Clip to hold it there. But with these little guys, maybe I'd be a hair more accurate if I used a Wonder Clip or something, but it'd be so minuscule that I'm going for the ease of not having to deal with pins as outweighing a tiny bit more accuracy. So, ooh, yeah, this one's pretty. Oh, kitty scratchy thing saying that's cute. That's what it is, giving you little kitty scritches to the fabric. Yeah, so whenever you see me scratching it, all I'm trying to do is kind of line up the edges a little bit better. Giving it some kitty scratches. So our little half square triangle pile is getting smaller. It does, you know, if you've been with me the last few days, we've been making these half square triangles, and they take a little bit of time. We have to trim down the middle to make the two, that diagonal that we were working with earlier, and you know, we got to press them open, both seams, and that takes a little time, and then we got to trim down all four sides of each of them. So there's a few steps to get these like perfectly sized half square triangles for our chevrons here. So our stack seems small and we go through it fast for these chevrons. Donna, I'm not right now. So, ooh, this one I forgot to press open as well. Dang, the other side's pressed open. I stopped designing fabric early last year, I think. So right now I am not designing more fabric. I hope to, maybe again in the future. We'll see. Right now I'm getting my new pattern collection, or my new kit collection prepared. So I'll share that with you guys soon. And they'll be going into Joann's again. So if you have a Joann's that carries embroidery stuff, you'll have to look out in a couple months. My new collection will be there, and then we'll get it up on our site and stuff too. And I'll give you guys a sneak peek one of these days too of the new kits. I'll have 6 new kits, and actually there'll be 6 new kits in Joann's, and I have a few more that I'll only have on my website a little bit later. But I'm super excited about them, and I can't wait to share. Just probably a couple more weeks, and then I'll have them all ready to go. Yeah, I kind of stopped designing fabric around when I started to do the Joann stuff. So working on that, and we'll see. Maybe I'll get back into fabric designing again. I love doing it. It's super fun. It's just, it takes a lot of energy and time. So that's the kicker. But I do want to do it again. Ooh, I love these still. Yeah, so we'll have to do a project. So I think, you know, I think they might be ready to go by the time we finish my new kits. I think they'll be ready to go by the time we finish our quilt top, which is a while yet, right? So that when we're doing the quilt top, before we do the free motion quilting on it, I want to do a project in between, and I think we'll do that project from my book of that sketchbook cover that has the zipper in the back, and maybe I think the kits will be out. So if you wanted to stitch something from the new kits, I think that might be a fun project to do it with. Stitch it on front of the sketchbook cover or something. So I think I might try doing something like that. We'll see. Yes, it will. Oh no, it's not in all Joann's, Carol. So not all Joann's actually carry embroidery stuff, which is a bummer, right? You know, Joann's main focus, I think, is fabric and yarn. So some of the smaller ones have more of a fabric yarn focus, and you know, the sewing related stuff on that. But other ones do have an embroidery aisle. In ours, it's kind of by the yarn area, and it's along the back wall. There's a whole pile of embroidery. So if you're not seeing any embroidery stuff there, you might still have like the wall of DMC floss, but if you don't have that, then for sure you probably don't have embroidery there, and some of the smaller ones don't have it. So not all of them, but they are out there. The ones that do. My mom's bummed because the one by her does not have embroidery supplies. Oh, and I have heard, you guys know I love the sulky stick and stitch, right? So it used to be Fabri-Selvi, and we'll use it again. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check out one of my embroidery projects. I'm sure we've used it on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies. I'm sure, you know, we've used it on most every embroidery project. But I think they're going to have the stick and stitch next to, or near my kits and stuff. So if you were looking for stick and stitch and wanted to use it with one of the kits or some other pattern, they'll be really close to each other. So it'll be really clear what one to buy, as you know, because otherwise you have to go down that crazy aisle with all the stabilizers and everything where it's just overwhelming, like which one to get. So they're going to have the stick and stitch right in with the embroidery stuff. Oh yes, so online they have the embroidery kits. They don't have everything there yet. They don't have the new ones yet there, but they may. We're still getting that worked out. All right. I have one more after this one, then we're already done with all these chevrons. Man, they take forever to turn into half-squared triangles, but not long at all to turn into chevrons. So we'll snip all these and we will we'll press them open today as well. So here's our last one is a purple. these together. Alrighty. Oh wow, you have a shop by you, Connie, that has the Weeks Dye Works. Oh, I love their floss. So fun. That's neat. It's always nice to find a little place that's local that you like. All right, so we are done with those. Let me see if I can zoom out some more. Oh yeah, I guess this is as far out as we are. So this is, you know, the long chain. You can see them all up here, our long chain that we have going. So that's kind of why it's chain piecing, because you end up with a long chain here. So we will snip those apart, and we can get together that little fun tool that we kind of made. We got our spool of thread here, and I got my seam ripper. We can put that right in the top there. This is a fun little trick. And so instead of snipping all these with the scissors, which, you know, is just as easy, I suppose, this is a little faster. We can just clip them over the top of our, scooched out of the way, our little device here, which is just fun. Fun to just snip these right off. Still think I need to get a little rubber stopper for the bottom. Oop. My pile is stuck. Let's bring this up. So all our little chevrons ready to be pressed open. Oops, get up there. Oh, for sure, Patricia. Yeah, this was, someone here mentioned this, and we gave it a try. But yeah, it's kind of my new favorite thing. They have little doohickeys that, like little devices, notions, or a little tool. That's the word I'm trying to think of. They have a little tool now that someone devised of that's basically this, but it's just fun, made out of stuff that you already have, I think. And our last little one. And that is it. So put that back so I don't stab myself. All right, so we have some chevrons here. So now all we have to do is we will press them all open, and we can add them to our other stack of finished ones. So woohoo, we're gonna get a nice tall stack going today. So I'm gonna scooch over here again to the little kitties, and we will press these open, and I'm just gonna add them to our pile here right away. We'll just make that stack bigger and bigger. So I'm just gonna give it a little press on the edge and open it up. Ah, there's something special about when you see them sewn together that's different than when they're separate. I just really like it. All right, and then we'll press it open as well. And if I forgot to press one of these open, I'll press that while we're at it. And the pressing it open reduces the bulk for when we do the free motion quilting. I don't usually, I mean, this is new to me, like pressing all the seams open. I kind of like just pressing to one side when I can. But I'm going with how the instructions say, and there's logic to it, which makes sense to me. I need the logic to make sense, right? I don't like just doing stuff. I like to know the why. And I don't know, the logic presented seemed pretty good, and that was that, you know, with the seam not just to one side, like this makes a lot of extra bulk, like 2 layers of fabric extra on this side and no extra on this side. So if we even that out by splitting it in half, you know, overall we'll have less layers of fabric, which in theory will make the free motion quilting easier because it doesn't have to leap over big bumps of fabric and stuff. So that's the theory, and I'm going with it. And you know, we're using another designer's instructions, and I like trying to do that when I like to follow the instructions when it's a, you know, when I'm using someone's pattern, because they're knowledgeable in what they do too, and I want to just see if I gain some insight by doing things different than I normally do, right? So we're pressing open. We will see how it feels when we free motion quilt it. It's one little extra step. Oh, that's pretty. I love those. But I'm kind of getting used to it. We've been doing it for all the half square triangles, all of these seams. So it's kind of part of, it's just kind of part of this process in my brain now for this project. Kind of got that guy a little. Giving it one extra little press. And again, it doesn't matter which way you turn it, it's still going to be that upper left to lower right chevron. All right, ooh, this one's got the little house. So like this one, for example, I'd probably, in the final quilt, I'd probably rotate it this way so the little house is upright. If I'm getting real picky, but you know, that's actually kind of silly because, you know, it depends on what side of the quilt you're looking at it at, right? It's a non-directional quilt, really. So in theory, it doesn't matter. It'll be upright to someone. Ooh, I just want to peek what this one looks like with our other direction one. See, so I made one that's going in the other direction. It's kind of fun to pull that out every once in a while. So here we go. Ooh, pretty. Ooh, let's add another one to it. Let's put this one here. There, we got a zigzag. This is as much of a zigzag as I can do right now. Fun. Okay, I'm totally stoked. I think the red is going to really pop too. And look how, again, saturated and juicy this is looking. I love it. I want to see what another one looks like. Getting excited. There's some polka dots. Ah, fun. Okay, I'm loving it. Let's keep going. Eventually we'll get to that chevron making land. Right now we're in half chevron world. We're still in making half square triangle world for sure. But you know what? We're doing it an hour a night. Eventually that will add up to be a finished quilt. What's kind of fun is on my YouTube. I have all these up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies, where you can watch replays. And if you subscribe there, you'll get an email saying when there's a new video, I think. But there I have all the videos numbered. So by just looking at what number of video we're on for this project, per project, so I start the numbers over when it's a new project, but for each project I number the videos, because then it's easy for you to find them and stuff, but you can get instantly knowledge on how many hours we've put in. So I think that's kind of interesting, because I've never kind of recorded how long it takes me to do a project. Like I've never, oops, geez, pressing that one all over the place. I've never like stopwatched myself or something, right? So this is kind of like we have a stopwatch to this project. Oh man, I think I missed what you guys were saying. So get this. Oh, you tried to purchase that nice iron in Canada. Oh, Amazon won't ship? Man, so there is some weird, like, okay, so I think as of like 2 days ago, the post office has changed stuff again. So now international shipping, I think, has gone like way up for international shipping, even to Canada. So you can probably expect a lot more vendors to either not ship internationally or it to be like pretty exorbitant these times. So yeah, it's kind of a huge bummer, and you know, it's one of those things like that's got to get fixed somehow, because you know, How are we gonna get our stuffs? All right, this is the one that I didn't press open before, so I'm gonna do that now, but it's falling off the side. So I might have to be doing that soon too, which is a huge bummer. But yeah, I think they just raised the forever stamp again too, because I was looking at that today and it's at 50 cents now for the forever stamp. Oh yeah, seriously, Joe, all the time spent on the Splendid Sampler, should have kept track. I totally agree. That one was kind of before I was, I don't know, tracking the video as much, because sometimes I worked more than just the hour on some days and whatever. So, and a lot of my videos were transferred from the old place I used to do videos before there was Facebook Live. So I don't have that numbered as well like what I'm doing now. So I don't have a good reference for that either. Although the I Love Home quilt, I think right now, the last video I did for that was like video 60 or something. So I know we spent at least 60 hours on the I Love Home. Yeah, if you have the forever stamps from 3 years ago, then you've saved a few cents. But yeah, I know I was starting to see some changes with the shipping, which is a bummer. You know what's just funny? It's not funny, but you know, I can send a priority mail package, a flat rate envelope. So flat rate meaning it costs the same wherever it is in the US. Even if it's Hawaii or Alaska, it's going to be the same price, right? But not to Canada. And it's got to go a lot longer both of those ways than Canada. You know what I mean? It'd be nice if there was just some international easy shipping thing that everyone just has the same shipping amount, and or anyone can just send anything to anybody. That'd be cooler. Get rid of shipping rates. That'd be pretty awesome. But yeah, so that's going up again, which is no fun. Pop this little seam open. I like this purple, just the plain purple. Got a few here yet, so hopefully we'll get these all done. I think we have a few more than last time. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, one day they just base it on distance. Yeah, you'd think, but no, it's like, well, if it's in America still, then you get to still ship it at this lower rate. You just purchased templates from Australia and the shipping was almost as much as the templates. That's the problem. So that's the problem with, you know, kits and stuff. Like I'm seeing that too. Like the shipping of the kits is going to be way more than the kits. So yeah, it's getting a little crazy. So that's why I want to have, you know, I want to start more digital things, and I want to make it, you know, easier for you guys to be able to do digital downloads and stuff too, if I can, because then you don't have to deal with any of the shipping, which is, you know, it's nice to have a kit where everything is just there, but you know, it's more gifty and everything too, but man, sometimes you just need to get the pattern and find all the other stuff. Or make the one purchase of like a bundle of stuff that you can use for a long time, and then just get the PDF patterns and stuff after that. So you only have to have like one massive, horrible shipping price shipment, and then the rest can just be digital. Yes, there you go, Patricia. Alicia, that's what you should do. Take a little vacation and then fill a suitcase. Oh, they're charging a ton for suitcases now, too. Ah, it's all a racket. Boo. I like these little black strawberries. Yeah, transporters, exactly. We always used to talk about that when we were little, like, oh, I wish I could just beam over to your house or something. My dad watched a lot of Star Trek, or we watched a lot of Star Trek when we were little. Oh, thanks, Glynis. I know, it's horrible. It makes me so sad. But, well, and you know, and then it's not just shipping, it's the duties and tariffs and fees and all that, you know, are unknown. Like, I don't know what that is for each country, and no one knows. And it depends on what the product is and everything, too. It's just, ugh, just a dumb system. I mean, it is amazing that, you know, something from here can go all the way to the other side of the world. Like, that is pretty amazing, you know, when you really think about it. Ah, but man, it would be cool to just zap them there. Use those Priority Mail envelopes all the time. Yeah, Christine, yes, it's the Priority Mail is nice because you can track it all and everything. Although you can't track it once it leaves the country, I don't think. So that's a problem. That's what you do twice a year. You make a list and go and stay out of the country for 48 hours. Get all the stuff you need, then go home. Yes, Alicia. Exactly. Well, the nice thing is that, you know, you don't need much to do some of this stuff. Old clothing works, and, you know, whatever thread, embroidery, floss, or even like yarn or whatever you can get your hands on, you can still get a needle and stitch through fabric. It doesn't have to be, you know, new fabric or, you know, quilt store fabric or something like that, or designer fabric. It can be just little bits of clothing and stuff that you save or find or trade for and all that. But it sure is fun to get new stuff and play around with it. Yes, exactly, Patricia. Yeah, wait for them at the border. Yeah, we're pretty close to the border, right? We can all drive up to the the Minnesota, Canada border, and you can meet me there, and we'll exchange some goods across the border without getting caught. How about that? Be a fun road trip. That'd be a super odd road trip. Thinking that's something that you can't really do either without some fine or something. A little tunnel. We'll have to make a tunnel from Minnesota to Canada. Alicia, nice. That would be fun! We could do a crafting road trip. What can you make when you're in the car? Me, nothing, because I'll get car sick, but I always have an emergency craft project if we get stopped somewhere. Secret embroidery documents, yep. And you'd try to explain what you're doing. And you'd get the whole blank stare like, crafting? What? You're trading colorful fabric with polka dots on it? Pile's getting a little smaller. Oh, Border Patrol kitty pins. Yes, fabric acquisition road trip. Oh man, I can't do that yet. I'm working my fabric down. But I'm sure there's something else we could trade for. I like this purple. Oh, we got another purple one right after. The embroidery mob squad. There we go. Yeah, caught with an iron at the border. Dun dun dun, a mini travel iron. I'm just throwing this over the border. It's nothing, it's just a travel mini iron. Don't need to look in my direction. I just dropped it on the other side. All right, that's another one that I forgot to press open. Ah well, doing it now. I don't know if I can scooch you guys any closer. I don't think I have. My cord's not long enough. Oh, here's that fun geometric one. Kind of some wacky colors there. Yeah, I'm sure the customs officers have heard it all. Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. It'd be kind of fun to interview them, and I don't know. One of them should write a book about all that stuff. My father-in-law used to travel a ton for his job, and he used to fly a bunch of places, and so many like crazy airplane stuff, you know, always happened, or he would observe and stuff. So we kept telling him he should write a book about all that. Oh, thanks for Alicia for coming. Oh yeah, I'm looking. If I'm not saying your name right, let me know, Alicia. Try and learn and get them right. Actually, that goes for anybody. If I'm saying your name and I'm just like way off, or if your Facebook name isn't like your real name, I'm calling you by something else, you know, let me know and I'll try and do better. All right, we got maybe 7 or 8 more here. Our stack's getting bigger though, the chevron, the half chevron pile, so that's making me happy. We do have quite a large pile that still needs to be cut into half square triangles to be sewn into these half chevrons yet. And then we have everyone from the other side yet, the other direction. So everything that we're doing now, however long it's taking us to do this, which I don't know, it's almost getting to be 2 full weeks and we're not done yet either. So multiply that by 2 and then we'll have all the chevrons we need. But after that, I think it'll go pretty fast. We'll arrange them all, which will be kind of fun. We'll try and do that in one sitting. We'll just, I'll do it in the living room. So we'll scooch to my living room and we'll lay them on the ground and just kind of rearrange and play with them. Oh, you're cutting like crazy. Patty, you are not going to fall behind. We will be here. We'll be here for a while, for sure. We got a lot to do yet. But yeah, so we will we'll head to the living room. This will be months from now, but we'll head there and lay them all out and rearrange them and do that in an evening and then maybe gather them into rows and stuff, and then we'll just be sewing the chevrons and the rows together, and that should go lightning fast compared to all these little parts. But do you have to say I'm kind of getting into the zen of this all of this, just chilling. Even this pressing the seams open, which
you know, I never liked doing, even just chilling by the iron, pressing seams open. I'm getting to be okay with it. That's what quilting should be, right? You should just be able to zen out doing this stuff, right? I think that's what's special, though, about this sort of project, where it is just like one block over and over again, where you're doing one motion over and over again. I think that's kind of where the zen comes in, like where your brain can just shut off because it's focused on just that one repetitive action. It's enough to get you to not be thinking about other stuff and just get to kind of sink into it a little bit. Versus if it's more intricate and you gotta get really focused on it and everything, you can just relax the brain with this. Carol, I am doing a twin size. So right on the cover of hers, there's great directions. This is the materials list, so even before she has a photo of this too before you buy it, so you can see right away how much you need for a lap, a throw, a twin, or a queen with the sizes of those. And, you know, if you're using charm packs or fat quarters or yardage, you know, it's all just laid out for you here really, really well. So I am doing the twin size for mine. I thought I had enough picked out. I had picked out these fabrics like ages ago when we were working on other projects still. But I knew I was going to do this project and thought I saw this red and knew I wanted to do it with the red. So I don't know. I picked my fabric early and it was just laying around. And I couldn't remember if I had chose what size I chose for. In my head, I thought maybe I did a queen, but then I wasn't sure if I did a queen or not. And it turns out I had enough for the twin. So I must have decided, oh, I just want to do a twin. So I'm going with it. I thought of maybe going bigger, but, you know, then I was like, twin's the perfect snuggle under the couch and take a nap blanket to have your feet completely covered. So this is a living room nap blanket. That's what this one's gonna be. Its job when it's done. So that means when we lay it out, it's going to be a lot bigger than a twin because, you know, we won't have all the seams. Because, you know, we lose a 1/4 inch on each side of every single piece once it's sewn together. So those 1/4 inches add up when you have a lot of little pieces like this. So when we lay it on the ground, this is going to actually probably take up all of the living room floor. So that'll be interesting. Try and get it all in the camera. We'll see how it goes. But I think I'm just going to lay them out and then we'll take a look at it. We'll kind of assess if anything looks weird and move it around. So it'll kind of be random initially, but then we will tweak. Random with some tweaks. I think that's probably pretty accurate to what this will be like. So we just have one more after this one, then we are done making the half chevrons until we have more half squared triangles, which we have a whole stack to do for this direction of chevron yet. Then again, multiply that by 2 because we have to do the other half of the chevron. Although if you decided, meh, I'm sick of this, I don't want to do the other half, if you just sew them all together, you'd still have a pretty interesting quilt. You'd have like these side diamonds. I mean, that's pretty neat still. What else could you do? You could go this direction. I don't know. There's still options, even if you aren't making chevrons, you know? You can still play around with whatever you do have. But we're gonna make the chevrons. So we will be making the other halves. But if you don't want to make it anymore, or if you're like, oh man, I need to make a baby quilt stat and I don't have anything, but oh man, I have a bunch of half chevrons. I'm gonna sacrifice these chevrons, half chevrons, for this baby quilt that's, you know, someone needs tomorrow. Then you can do that. You can still make a quilt with these. All right, that is that. Let's check out our pile. Ooh, it's getting bigger. So these are our half chevrons that direction. And again, we have to make all of them in this direction too. Those are kind of pretty together. It'll be fun just to see what random edges we get. And for the ones that are facing this way yet, we still have this stack to go through. I would have to say, if I was guessing, I'd say maybe about 30 or so of these that we got to cut down that diagonal and to get our half square triangles that we have to trim down and get all perfect, and then before we sew into those again. So we have all these, and then the entire another stack, the same amount for the ones that go in the other direction. So that is that, but this was good progress today. We got a bunch more here, so I'm gonna set that aside and we will call it an evening. So I'm gonna flip you guys around. There, hello again. So we got our little chevrons, boop. They're fun, or a V this way. So, all right, awesome. And thanks again for joining me, guys. Yeah, on Friday, so we have one more day yet. So Friday, we will continue back just trimming these in half and pressing them open and then trimming around the squares like we've been doing the past few nights. And I think this time, though, we'll get all the way through before doing another round of half chevrons because we're so close. I just, I want to get this stack done. And then that'll be it. We'll have our half chevrons and then we'll start from scratch with pile number 2, which is the other direction. So, all right. Thanks again, guys. I will get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies. So I hope you subscribe there and you can watch all the replays there. I know we go kind of late here sometimes, so it's nice to be able to watch it whenever you want. And it will also be here on Facebook too, if you prefer that as well. So thanks. Thanks for the entertainment. You too, guys. Thanks for joining me in. So I'm not just here alone talking to myself. It's nice to chit chat. So, all right, I will catch you guys later. Good night.